Hey guys, it's Joey Gaming and welcome back to another video here on the Joey Gaming YouTube channel. In today's video, we have part 2 of my journey at USULC. If you haven't yet seen part 1, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do so. Part 1 is me talking about the process leading up to USULC and what day 1 was. Basically, USULC is a leadership conference at Utah State University. Every year they put on this program where they invite all the schools in Utah and some schools in Idaho, and I was one of those schools in Idaho that got selected, and we went to this university where they taught us leadership skills for our leadership journey and student council stuff, So this is part 2 to that story time. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check out part 1. Before I get into the story time, I want to play the second recap video that Kimball Mueller made while we were at USULC. Kimball Mueller made a recap video every single day we were there, and it really showed off everything that we did at USULC. So I want to go ahead and play that on my channel. The only thing is I'm going to mute the audio because the audio that Kimball used was copyrighted or is copyrighted, and I'm not allowed to play that music here on my channel. If you're wondering what music it was AJR, Let the Games Begin. Amazing artist, by the way, and have some amazing soundtracks. I don't listen to them a lot. I just hear them in my car or on the radio, It's not my personal group I listen to, but they're an amazing artist, and that's the music that Kimball used. So, here's that video. Alright, once again, if you want to check out Kimball's Instagram, then I will go ahead and link his Instagram below in the description because, I don't know, the kid's talented when it comes to video editing. So anyways, back to the story time. So last night, like I mentioned in the first part, we stayed up all night creating a blueprint of what we wanted to do to create our boat. We have a boat racing contest the next day, and we had to come up with a design. And so me and a few other exec members with a few of the student council, well, all males, by the way, because this was in the male's dorm room, because, males and females were not allowed to sleep with each other for obvious reasons, right? So, we created this blueprint on how we're going to create this cardboard boat, and we made several models of this cardboard boat, like smaller versions, right? Testing out different hull sizes and tests, and we came up to the conclusion that, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to create this boat with this type of hull. We're going to use this type of tape and stuff, and we came up to that conclusion, and we were very, very, very satisfied on what we're gonna do, and that's what happened. And so that's what happened. We went to bed, right? I slept pretty well. The next day, we woke up and we went to the auditorium to eat breakfast. And the Utah State staff, right, the USU staff were there, right? They had their projectors on and they had their shirts on and stuff, right? And they started doing a presentation and said, all right, guys, it's time to announce our social media winners. So on this PowerPoint, the first person that was the winner was Kimball Mueller, obviously, because he made the recap video. So he was in first place and say, hey, all right, Kimball, come up to the stage. We're going to give you a USU jacket, right? And I think they gave him something else, but I don't really quite remember, right? I'm like, oh, cool, Kimball won, because, Kimball put in the hashtag that USU wanted us to use to get entered into the social media competition, right? And then next I heard, in second place, we have Joey Gaming! But they didn't say Joey Gaming. They said, Joey last name, right? And because that's my Instagram, right? And they showed my Instagram post, right? And everyone's cheering at that point and clapping. And don't get me wrong, they were clapping for Kimball too. But I was just shocked, right? I thought they were going to do one winner. And keep in mind, guys, at this point, me and Kimball were the only ones that used this hashtag at USU. So I was in second place because, there's no other competition. Obviously, Kimball got first place because he made that amazing video, and I didn't have a laptop to compete with him. So, and nor did I think I was going to make any sort of videos while I was at Utah State University. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. That was crazy. And they said, "Hey, come up to the stage." I went up to the stage, and they gave me a Utah State University jacket as well, and that's about it. And then I went back to my table. Everyone's like, "Oh, hey, Joey, well done. Congratulations." I'm like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And I said, "Hey, Kimball is the one that deserves all the praise, because he made the videos, obviously." So that was a really cool start of the day. And shortly after I won the competition, everyone else in my group and everyone else at Utah State University and a few of the other schools started posting with the hashtag as well at USULC, and that was really cool. And it was because of me and Kimball. So I don't know. That was just really, really cool. So after breakfast, we went on to some of these buses. I think they called them shuttles, and they took us down to this dam, and we were gonna do some water activities. When we went down to this dam, and there was this dam next to Utah State University, it's like a 5 to 10 minute drive from the campus to the dam. It's just how it is that Utah State is kind of built next to this river, and next to this river is this dam, so it's kind of near that area. So we went down to this dam area, and what happened is we got split up into two groups. We were split up into the first group and the second group. One group was going to go on some kayaks and some other boats, right? And there we're just going to go around and just, have fun, And another group were going to play some games. I was part of the first group that played the games. And what the games were I forgot what it was called, but they would blindfold you, right? They would blindfold you so you can't see, and they would give you pool noodles. And what they do is they formed a circle, right? They formed a little circle of other pool noodles, and the whole idea is that the people with the pool noodles are going to try to find people that are not pool noodle people, right? And they are just trying to find the other survivors. I think it's called zombies or something. I don't know. But you just can't really see anything. You have pool noodles, and you have to find people that are not zombies, and you have to hit them, and get them knocked on the floor, right? And it was just actually really, really fun to play. And the first round, I was not a zombie, right? I was actually a survivor. So what I did is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to crouch, right? Instead of being out, I'm just going to crouch. So when they swing their pool noodles, they're not going to hit me. So that's what I did. Is I crouched and I was crouch sprinting, and that was hard to do. That was a workout within itself, right? So we was avoiding everyone from hitting pool noodles, and it was actually kind of hilarious because you would see people bump into each other, right? The zombies would bump into each other, and they would attack the other zombies, and be like, chill, bro, I'm a zombie too. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And then you're going to find someone else, and that person else is a zombie too, and then they finally get someone that isn't a zombie, right? It was just hilarious, bro, right? And I don't know, it was fun. Then the next round happened, and and then I was the zombie with a few other people, right? I was given a pool noodle, and what I do is most of the zombies were just slow. They were just walking around because, you know, obviously you can't see. We have to go based off of audio cues, right? So instead of being slow and like everyone else, I was sprinting at people, right? I heard a noise, I was sprinting at people, right? And I made sure that I didn't sprint like far. I just sprinted like in short bursts, right? I didn't want to make sure I bump into anyone, right? And I scared a lot of people, right? You would hear like screaming, right? Some of the girls would be screaming, some of the people would be like shocked, like, oh, whoa, he's fast, right? And I actually got a few people because people were not expecting me to be fast, you know? So I was really fun, right? And I was attacking some people accidentally because, you know, there's other zombies. And overall, that was just a very, very fun experience. But then the time came and we had to get on the boats, right? So we put our life jackets on. They made us wear life jackets and stuff, right? Even though I don't need a life jacket, they gave one anyways to me because because I'm a professional swimmer. I have never drowned in my life, and that's a fact. I have never drowned in my life, so that's a fact for you. So I don't know. That was fun. We get on the boats, right? And decided that, hey, I didn't want to get it wet, so I went for the biggest canoe possible, and I did get into the canoe, and I got some other people on that canoe as well, right? And we were going around, it was awesome, and this lake that this dam was creating, it wasn't big, but it was still pretty big, sort of, you know? And there were, like, little ducks everywhere, and we were checking out the animals, and then we went across to this bridge, right? And most of the people on my boat's like, hey, let's go under the bridge, right? It was like a small, shallow bridge. I'm surprised that the Utah State staff were allowing us to go under this bridge, right? We had to duck a little bit. They either didn't see us or didn't care. It's probably they didn't see us because we probably got yelled at, but, you know, we decided to do it anyways because, you know, it looked fun and some other boats did it. But one guy didn't want to do it, but we ended up doing it anyways, and it was awesome. So that's what happened. We went under this little bridge thingy. So that was cool. But we saw like a lot of ducks and other sorts of birds, right? And it was just an awesome environment, right? And, you know, seeing all the ducks, and they were pretty cute. We saw some swans and some geese and stuff. So that was really cool. At the end of that, we went back to the bus and we went back to Utah State University. So after we get back to Utah State University, we went back to the auditorium room and we started eating lunch there, right? And after lunch, they told us that we have to do this mandatory planning session. So we went back to our dorm rooms, right? And we sat with our school, right? And it's just everyone in the exec plus the student council and Mrs. Government. And Mrs. Government decided that, hey, we need to get a theme for our school year because every year there is a theme for our school year, right? We had to have a certain theme to it. And the theme that we decided to do was We Are Family, right? We debated on it and we decided to do We Are Family. And the whole logic behind We Are Family is that some of the some of the people in the exec said, hey, you know what? I view the student body as one large family, so that's why we didn't need to do We Are Family, right? And at the time, I thought, hey, you know, I didn't really like the We Are Family theme because that's too generic, right? However, I grew to like it throughout the school year. I thought, hey, it's actually kind of nice, you know? At first, I wasn't a fan of it because to me, it sounded generic. I wanted something awesome, you know? Like Phineas and Ferb or something, and we could play like Phineas and Ferb music or something at dances. So I don't know, something like that, you know. But We Are Family is a good theme still, even though I didn't really like it at first, you know. So we talked about it, right, and we came up with that theme, right. And Mrs. Government told us that, hey, we got to make sure we promote this theme, which is We Are Family, and that she's gonna pull random students aside at the end of the school year and say, hey, what's our theme, right? And if the students can't guess what our theme is, then we're gonna lose some points, right? We're all gonna lose like points or something. So I knew that I had to make sure I post a lot of We Are Family stuff on the social media account whenever I got that. So that was really cool. So after the planning session, the next thing to do was to go to this gym and construct our cardboard boat. So we brought our blueprints from our dorm rooms of how we're going to create this boat, right? And we walk for quite a while throughout this campus, and let me tell you, it is huge, bro. Like it's like expanding multiple streets, right? There's like, and honestly, I wasn't expecting like public roads to go through this campus and stuff, and that was like crazy, you know. I honestly thought that wasn't a thing, but yeah, it's you can drive right through the campus. It was just crazy, you know. I didn't know that's a thing, but apparently that's kind of common for colleges in the United States where there's like streets that go through the campus, but it was huge. We went by this football field, and it was huge. I'm going to talk about that very soon. And we finally get to this gym, right? And we started creating our cardboard boats. There was a lot of these piles with cardboard boats, and there was duct tape and markers and stuff, right? So we would go to a pile and we start building our boat. My friend, who was in the exec, gets the blueprints, and we start building this boat, right? And during the construction, we ended up calling this boat Boatacious. Not sure why we came up with the name Boatacious. They'd be like, hey, you know what? Let's name our boat Boatacious, you know? And, you know, it's Boatacious, right? So we ended up naming the vessel Boatacious. And we also put in our school logo. We also put in our school name on it, so people know that, hey, this is our school's boat, which was named Boatacious, right? For once again, I don't know why we named it Boatacious, but we decided, hey, we're gonna name our boat Boatacious. And the next thing we did is that we did this cheer, right, as a sign of good luck, and we said Boatacious! 2, 1! Boatacious! Wait, all the boys. Hey, she's ready to go. She's seaworthy now.
What, guys, when we get in there, we're gonna do the PHS cheer.
Which one?
Sounds good. So after the cheer, we decided, hey, we need to go find someone to pilot this boat, right? Which is Boatacious. And we decided to choose the smallest person in our group, which was this girl, right? And this girl was also the same girl that I was assigned to dance. She was pretty short, you know, and she was also pretty much the lightest. Apparently, some of the girls weighed each other or whatever, so she was the lightest. I don't know. Someone came up to the conclusion that she was the lightest, and she was going to be the one in the boat, right? So she was off putting on her swimsuit or whatever, right? And we started walking down to the pool area to race our boats, right? And this whole time we were like chanting Boatacious and stuff. We're walking and talking, right? Saying, hey, we're gonna beat all the schools. We're gonna win this whole competition, right? And Kimball was filming some stuff as well that he ended up using for his recap video later that day, right? And we get to the pool, right? And all the schools start putting in their boats, and most of them, they would just tip over and sink, right? Or disassemble. And our person, right, gets in the boat and immediately falls over. Apparently, the blueprints were not good. You know, maybe if the boat was smaller, right, when we built the models, maybe those models were fine, right? But it wouldn't work totally for this bigger boat because, you know, it's bigger and you have to deal with the mass, right? Maybe she's too heavy even though she's extremely light, right? Or something's wrong. Maybe the blueprints were not as correct, right? So the boat didn't work, and Kimball ended up recording someone else's boat that ended up winning. So that was a shame. And we did try to attempt to go across it again. We got someone else in the exec, right? And some dude, right? He went in there, he tried, and, you know, he falls over too because, you know, I don't know. So that's what happened. So yeah, we didn't end up winning, even though we were very excited and we were chanting Boatacious, even though, you know, it didn't work out so well. So after that, we went back to our dorm rooms and we started doing our planning session. And I should have mentioned this earlier about the planning sessions, is that the boys were allowed to go into the girl dorm rooms just this once for the planning session. I totally forgot to mention that before. But yeah, this was probably the only time that boys were allowed into the girls' dorm so we can actually discuss our planning session. So we went back and we started doing our next planning session, and now Mrs. Government wanted us to create an exec pledge. So basically what an exec pledge is, it's like a normal Pledge of Allegiance thing that every American school does. What they do is they have a list of words like a pledge, right? You'll pledge to the school or whatever that you'll do this and that, right? And every morning after the bell rings, everyone would stand up and sing the pledge out loud, right? And then after that, everyone would do whatever they were doing while being on the exec, right? So everyone in the student council and the student council still helped. I don't know why, because they were never going to actually read it out loud. So we were there creating our pledge, and what we did is we looked at some words like inspire, encourage, uplifting, uplift, love, right? And we eventually created this poem, right? This pledge, and for fun, we put in the word bodacious in our exec pledge. And this was like 30 minutes to an hour long, and that was fun, right? So, I don't know. I put some input in it. Some people put in my ideas, and it was great, right? We decided on mainly that we were number 2 and that the whole student body was number 1 because they were our number 1 priority. So we need to take care of the school before we can take care of ourselves. So that's kind of the theme we decided to go on. I don't remember anything else in the pledge, even though I read it every school day. So, yeah. So after the planning session, we went down to this dance studio somewhere at Utah State, and we practiced our dance for the last time. Me and the girl were still horrible, by the way. We got a little better, but we were still horrible as it is, right? And at this point, we had to practice our finale. You see, at the end of the dance, we have to do a finale on how we're going to get out of here. And before we got into the conversation on what we're going to do, Mrs. Government said, hey, we have to make sure that there is no kissing involved because, first of all, it's against the rules at Utah State to have a kissing scene, right? You can't have any sort of kissing. And another thing is that last year, a school did a kissing thing and won, and the judges totally forgot that was a rule. So she said, no kissing whatsoever. There can't be any kissing, so do anything else. You can do anything else, just no kissing, right? So we got into the conversation, and we decided, hey, we're going to do this biking thing, because our theme was, like, bikers versus something. I think it's bikers versus surfers or something. So one person was dressed up as a biker, and the other person was dressed up as a surfer. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know why we came up with that decision, right? So at the end, we decided, hey, we're going to pretend that we're going to ride bikes out of here. It was just super weird, if I'm being completely honest. So, I don't know, that was really, really interesting that happened. So, we practiced our dance. Me and the girl were still horrible, but it's passable, right? We're still horrible at the dancing thing, but, you know, it works. After we got done practicing, we had to go down to the outdoor arena area again, and we watched some of the schools do their dances, right? And a lot of the dances were actually really, really cool. We were cheering on a few schools, right? Kimball was out there filming. He actually got his drone up there. He somehow got permission to fly his drone, right? He was flying his drone and stuff and recording it. And Mrs. Government actually shot some footage of us dancing. It's low quality, but, you know, here it is. So the music in this dance turned out to be copyrighted as well, so I had to put on some royalty-free music. By the way, if you want to know where I am, I'm right here. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the clip. So, we didn't end up winning the competition because there's some schools that did a lot better. And fortunately for Mrs. Government, no one kissed. So, that was good. So, after that, we went and we ate dinner at the auditorium for the final time. Well, not for the final time, but, you know, we were eating for the final time for the day, right? And after we got done eating, we were free to wander across the whole campus, and there's a certain area at Utah State University that they pushed us towards, and they gave us cereal. So we're eating like cereal at like 10:30 p.m. at night, and it was crazy. And we were starting to walk around this whole campus doing random stuff. We went towards this massive what's it called? We went towards this massive football field, and there was like kids like playing games and stuff, right? There's like people playing volleyball, there's people dancing and singing, and we get to the football field, and I started playing football with some of the exec kids, right? And I wasn't good at football, but one of the people there was a football player, so he taught me how to throw a football correctly, right? And I actually threw it pretty good, you know. I actually was impressed with myself that I was able to throw a football that far, you know. It was actually kind of cool, actually. So we played some football. I wasn't really good at it. Well, we didn't really play football. We were just trying to catch it, really, right? But it was just really, really fun. I just had a lot of time, right? And we decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna explore the other campus. So what we did is we walked from the football area, right, from the football field, and we walked back down towards the area of the tower, the A tower, and towards the outdoor arena area where we did the dancing and stuff, right? We went to this A, you know, the A from the last part. Yeah, there were people going up there and kissing, right? And, you know, I saw it personally. Some people in our group were joking, say, hey, I'm going to go up there and see if anyone would come and kiss me, right? And then we saw a couple of dudes go up, right? And they were going to pretend that they're going to kiss, but they backed down, you know, they were just pretending to do that, right? And I leave to go talk to someone, right? And I come back later because I was bored, right? And I was hearing rumors that that someone got kicked off the A because the staff members were catching people kissing on the A. And you know what? Wasn't really sure if that was true or not until I saw the recap video where Kimball added the clip where the staff members were kicking off the kids for kissing on the A. And apparently what I understand is you're not an Aggie until you kiss someone on the A. And, you know, I hope this helps. I haven't kissed anyone on the A, so that means I'm not an Aggie. So, you know, unfortunately, that didn't happen. But, you know, I thought that was just rumors. But it turns out to be true once I saw the recap video tomorrow when Kimball would edit the video for it. So that was really, really cool. So, yeah, that was hilarious. Obviously, I'm assuming that the people that got caught kissing, right, didn't actually get in trouble, because if you've seen the facial expressions of the staff members, they were pretty chill about it. They were just thinking that the situation was just funny. So I didn't imagine those kids got in trouble whatsoever. And then at 11 o'clock, we had to go back to our dorm rooms and go to bed because, you know, they didn't want everyone up. So we had to go back to our dorm rooms, and that's what we did. We went back to our dorm rooms, and we hanged out for a little bit. And I talked to Kimball a little bit, where I had to ask him a question or something. I don't remember. So I went into his dorm room, and I talked to him, and he was on his computer editing one of the videos. Not one of the videos. He was editing the video that you guys watch at the very beginning with the very beginning of the story time, right? And I talked to him for a little bit, asked him a few questions. I don't remember what I asked him, but I just asked him some questions, and then I went back to my dorm room. And in fact, I was actually kind of locked out for a minute, so I had to knock on the door, and then someone let me in, and that was awesome. And then we stayed up for like another 30 minutes, and then we all went to bed. And that's the end of day 2. Very soon I'm going to have day 3, or part 3 of this story time. And day 3, I'm not sure if it's the most craziest day, but it's still an entertaining story time. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and see ya. Peace.